Hello and welcome. You selected a video most people skip. That choice already shows your uniqueness. The question now is simple. Will you only view this video, or will it permanently alter your life? What you will hear is not motivation. It is not simple inspiration. It is real, harsh, and essential truth. You see, the system teaches a formula. This starts from your childhood. Go to school. Earn high grades. Find a secure job. You must work hard and save money. Eliminate your debt. Invest in safe mutual funds. Then you can retire and finally die. But you should ask one question. Why do you save pennies? The top 1% are printing trillions. The world suggests being humble. It tells you to be cautious and patient. It says you should not desire too much. But the reality is different. While you are told to save $10, someone else made $10 million today. While you focus on clearing debt, someone else is buying your apartment building. While you are focused on survival, they are constructing empires. This is no longer a small difference. It has become a huge, unspoken canyon. It separates the 1% and the masses. And nobody is coming to rescue you. You were conditioned to follow the majority. You adopted the 99% lifestyle. It seems safe, but it slowly destroys your dreams. But a secret truth is never told to you. The 1% operate differently. Their thinking is completely different. Their actions are also different. If you desire a different life, you must do what the masses are not doing. This is not only about achieving success, it is about freedom, power, and control. It is about your identity. You get to choose a different existence, a life that is designed by you, and there is an added benefit. You learn this profound, life-altering truth, and you are also improving your English. This video uses simple, strong language. It is designed to be emotional, so your mind and language skills grow together. This is more than just a video. It is a weapon for your future. It empowers your mind and your voice. So do not just watch. You must absorb it and live by it. Remember these lessons. This is what they failed to teach in school. Our journey starts now. Stage 1. Stop following the crowd. Let us begin with a truly dangerous truth. If you do what most people do, you will receive what most people receive. What is that exactly? It is stress, debt, and deep regret. It is living from one paycheck to the next. It is working 40 years to retire poor. But that is the trap of the 99%. They follow without thinking. The system is never questioned by them. They do not ask, is this life what I want? Let me provide an illustration. Picture a very long road. 10,000 people walk one way. A single person walks the other way. If you are with the crowd, you think that one person must be lost. You believe the 10,000 are correct. But what if the crowd is wrong? What if they are all headed for a cliff? And that one person walks toward freedom. This happens in our actual lives. We mimic our neighbors. We listen to what society tells us. We copy everyone on social media. The truth is the crowd loves comfort. It is addicted to entertainment. The 1%, however, crave growth. They seek challenges and discipline. The masses waste their time in online debates. The elites spend their time creating systems. The 99% hope for a pay raise. The 1% create many sources of income. The masses say, One day I will. The elites say, today I did. Examine any field of work. Jeff Bezos built Amazon when others shopped. Elon Musk was reading when others watched TV. Kobe Bryant practiced shooting baskets. He did this while others were asleep. Why did they do this? They refused to follow the crowd. Following the crowd feels safe. But it is the surest path to being average. Success demands some disobedience. Excellence is born from rebellion. Freedom comes from questioning everything. So here is a question for you. What are you doing only because others do it? What belief do you hold without question? What copied habit keeps you in one place? Once you begin thinking for yourself, you have done what most are afraid to do. That is precisely what Stage 2 is about. Stage 2. Replace motivation with discipline. I must say something uncomfortable now. It is something the masses refuse to hear. Motivation is completely false. It is a dangerous trap. It is the reason people start but never finish. It explains why people talk but never act. You see, most people chase motivation. They chase it their entire lives. They say, I will start when I feel ready. I will go to the gym next week. I will study English tomorrow if I feel it. I will work on goals after I feel better. And because of this, nothing ever happens. This is not due to laziness. It is because action is delayed for a feeling. But the top 1% know something. Motivation is only a mood. Discipline is a firm decision. Motivation is unpredictable like the wind. It comes and it goes. Discipline is steady like an engine. It works even during a storm. Let me talk about Kobe Bryant. He was among the greatest basketball players. He did not win from magical talent. He won because of one simple habit. He showed up every single day. It did not matter if he felt like it. Do you know when Kobe began training? He started at 4 a.m. daily. Most players were still sleeping. Most people were still dreaming. Kobe was already working hard. He never waited for motivation. Instead, a routine was built by him. He possessed a strong mindset. If I do not feel like it, that is the exact time I must do it. That is the discipline of the 1%. And what happened to others? Players with more talent than him existed. They never reached his level. They relied too much on motivation. Let us simplify this idea. Motivation is a feeling that pushes you, but that feeling is temporary. One day you feel excited. The next day you feel lazy. Discipline is acting without the feeling. It is based on a choice, not a mood. You do it because of a promise to yourself. Motivation can begin a journey. Discipline is what finishes it if you seek genuine success. Do not wait until you feel prepared. Be ready, regardless of your feelings. That is why the elite ignore motivation. They create systems and set firm rules. They act without checking their feelings. Imagine you want to practice English daily. On day 1, you are very excited. You watch a video and learn words. On day 2, you are feeling tired. You decide to skip it. On day 3, you feel some guilt. So you watch another video. On day 4, you say, I will restart next week. You are now back at the beginning. This is the failure cycle of the masses. Now, picture something different. You make a firm decision. Every night at 8 p.m., I will speak English for 15 minutes. This will happen no matter what. You do it when you are exhausted. You do it when you are feeling sad. You do it when your brain says no. After 30 days, things change. Your English improves. Your confidence increases. Your discipline is now unbreakable. This is the method of the 1%. They do not rely on moods, routines are built by them instead. They show up without needing permission. This stage is life's turning point. It is the gap between starting and stopping. It separates wishing from achieving. It is the difference between dreaming and living. The reason most people are stuck is simple. It is not from a lack of talent. It is because they say, I did not feel like it. I was not in the right mood. Something else came up. But the 1% say, I do it anyway. I do it because of my own promise. I do it because my future is at stake. You must remember this part forever. Discipline means doing what is necessary, even when you do not want to do it, even when nobody is there to watch, even when the task is boring, even when you want to quit. Your future does not care about your feelings. It only responds to your actions. Ask yourself some questions. What do I keep delaying until tomorrow? Where am I waiting for motivation to act? What single, small action can I do daily? Once you stop chasing motivation and start building discipline, you become a dangerous person. You become an unbreakable force. You become part of the 1%. And that is the purpose of this video. Stage 3. Think long-term while others chase instant pleasure. Let me state this very clearly. The 99% think about today. The 1% think about 10 years from now. That is the reason they are wealthy. That is the reason they are powerful. That is the reason they win quietly. Others are busy chasing likes and discounts. They want sugar, sales, and dopamine. You see, most people want quick rewards. They expect results in just 7 days. They want to feel good right now. They desire an immediate victory. But the greatest tragedy is this. Their future is sacrificed for 5 minutes of joy. Imagine this scenario. You are feeling hungry. You have 2 available choices. You could make a healthy meal. That takes 20 minutes. Or you could go to McDonald's. That takes 5 minutes. You select McDonald's. It is fast, cheap, and tastes good. But a hidden cost is not seen by you. You feel tired and bloated. You get a sugar crash and gain weight. Your health is damaged over time. That is what the masses always do. They choose short-term wins for long-term pain. But the 1% do what is hard now. This allows them to live easily later. The 99% life versus the 1% life. Here is the honest, brutal contrast. It is between 2 different mindsets. The masses spend money for instant feelings. The elite invest money for future growth. The masses skip work to relax now. The elite work today for relaxation tomorrow. The masses watch Netflix for escapism. The elite read books for personal evolution. The masses party on the weekend. The elite build on the weekend. The masses practice when they feel motivated. The elite practice daily without fail. The masses ask, what will I get this week? The elite ask, who will I be in 5 years? The truth is that success is slow. That is why it is never tasted by most people. Because the process is not fun. It does not go viral or get likes. It does not create a big explosion. Success has a boring start. Then it becomes something beautiful. Let us discuss one of the world's richest men. His name is Warren Buffett. Do you know how he became a billionaire? It was not through speed or hype. It was not from overnight success. His wealth was built with long-term discipline. He reads 500 pages every day. He purchases companies and keeps them for decades. He avoids popular, trendy stocks. He stays away from excitement. And guess what else? At 11 years old, he bought his first stock. At 56, he was a billionaire. It required 45 years of work. He was reading, investing, and waiting. But now, billions are earned in his sleep. The 99% are still chasing $1,000. Because Buffett knew this important rule. To get rewards that last forever, you must do things that seem invisible today. Let us be very honest. Long-term thinking is difficult. Why is that? We are designed to want immediate pleasure. We want fast results and quick feedback. That is why we check our phones constantly. That is why people quit after 1 week. That is why great things are never built. Their minds are trapped in the present. But greatness is found in the future. The person who studies English for 15 minutes will be fluent after 1 year. Others will still be saying, "I will start tomorrow." The person who builds a side business nightly will be financially free in 5 years. Others will still be waiting for a raise. The person who reads 1 book each month will be 12 books smarter every year. Others will just be scrolling. How the 1% construct their future. They create compounding habits. A 1% daily improvement equals being 37 times better in a year. They trade pleasure for future power. They skip Netflix now to build valuable skills. They think in decades, not days. They ask what this habit will do in 10 years. They trust the work nobody sees. They do not need praise. They only need results if you want to escape the masses. Stop asking how fast you will succeed. Start asking how far you can go. If you simply show up every day, accept that the process is slow but steady. Because speed with no direction is a disaster. Write down your goals for the next 3 years. Do not focus only on this week. Train your mind to see much further. Trust in your boring routines. They are planting seeds others cannot see. The 99% chase pleasure and get pain. The 1% accept pain and get power. If you can wait longer than others, if you can be consistent with no results, if you can think in decades, not days, then you will achieve the unimaginable, and that is the path to your freedom. Stage 4. Use your evenings wisely while others waste them silently. Let me ask a very personal question. What do you do between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m.? I will tell you a truth that most people miss. Your evenings are building your future, or they are destroying it slowly. They are ruining it silently and forever. The evening routine of the 99%. For most, the day looks like this. They wake up feeling tired. They go to their job or to school. They come home completely exhausted. They eat a quick, simple meal. They pick up their phone and start scrolling. They check their messages and social media. They watch a few short videos. Maybe 1 TV episode becomes 2, then 3. They order food and delay their dreams. They feel guilty and then go to bed. They wake up and repeat the cycle. And one day, they ask a question. Why is my life not changing? The answer is painful but simple. You are giving your most precious time to your most worthless habits. Here is what people do not see. Evenings are a second chance. They are hidden inside your regular life. Let me clarify this. Your job or your college takes your daytime, but your evenings belong only to you. What you do in those hours every night will make you richer, smarter, and healthier, or it will keep you in the same loop for the next 10 years. Let's imagine 2 people. They have the same age, job, and salary. They live in the same city. Person A has the 99% evening. He comes home and eats junk food. He scrolls on social media for hours. He watches one show, then more. He says, "I will start my goals tomorrow." He sleeps at 1 a.m. and repeats it. Person B has the 1% evening. He comes home and freshens up. He eats a healthy meal. He spends 30 minutes reading a book. He learns a new skill from the internet. He practices English out loud. He writes his thoughts in a journal. He plans for the next day. He sleeps by 10:30 p.m. Now let us pause here. Fast forward the clock by 1 year. They both lived the same days, but one person is now different. He is fluent in English. He is healthier and smarter. He is more confident and has a better life. The other person is still stuck. He is still tired, confused, and scrolling. Why is this? It is because of how their evenings were spent. The masses do not waste evenings from laziness. They waste them from mental exhaustion. But they do not get that rest is not scrolling. True rest is about recovery. They say, "I deserve to take a break." But they do not see the problem. A break that breaks your future is a trap. It is not a reward. They believe they will change tomorrow, but every tomorrow is another wasted today. The 1% guard their evenings. It is like a sacred personal ritual. They know your mornings are for the world. Your evenings are for yourself. What you do in that time changes everything. The 1% use evenings to build income. They learn languages or read books. They build websites or work out. They strengthen their minds and plan their weeks. They reflect, recover, and prepare. Their evenings are used to become stronger, so the world thinks they are relaxing. But they are building tools for growth. Right now, you should ask yourself this. What did I do last night from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.? Did it move me closer to my desired life? Or did it just provide entertainment while my dreams were put on hold? Now ask another question. What if I spent just 1 hour each night practicing English or reading a chapter, writing my goals or learning something new? Where would I be in 1 year? Your entire day does not shape your future. Your forgotten evenings do. Here is how to make your evening an asset. Set a clear rule. No scrolling on your phone after 7 p.m. Create a new ritual. 1 hour of growth activity each evening. Have a specific place. A corner where you read, write, or build. Protect your time fiercely. Treat it like a meeting with your future self. Track your progress. Write down what you did each evening. Do not lie to yourself. Your evening is the day's most powerful part. Do not give it away to distractions. Do not waste it on meaningless things. Do not trade it for cheap fun. A person who uses evenings wisely will live a life others can only watch. And that is how you leave the 99%, slowly, silently, and forever. Stage 5. Study obsessively while others stay entertained. Let me ask you something honestly. When did you last study for yourself? Not for school, not for an exam, but for your own future and growth. The truth is, most people stop learning. They stop right after they leave school. They believe education is finished, but the 1% never stop. They know school provides a job. Self-education provides freedom. Most people are lost in content. YouTube videos, reels, and gossip. Celebrity interviews and reaction videos. Podcasts about drama and gaming streams. They watch endless short videos. They spend hours per day consuming. They call this relaxation. Here is a very brutal truth. If you consume more than you learn, you are not relaxing. You are mentally rotting. The 1% learn with intensity. Let us talk about Elon Musk. He did not build his companies by watching funny cat videos. He once stated something amazing. I learned rocket science by reading books. Yes, actual rocket science. He read physics books for enjoyment. While the masses were watching Netflix, Elon was studying technical manuals while they were sharing funny memes. Elon was designing the future. That is the critical difference. The 99% seek entertainment. The 1% seek elevation. Let me show you a simple but shocking math. Read only 10 pages every day. That is 650 pages in 1 year. That equals 18 full books. That is more than most people read in their whole adult lives. Now picture this. 1 year from today, you have read books on money and mindset. You have read books on health and English. You have read about relationships. You have studied productivity and business. That is not just knowledge. That is an entirely new brain. And guess what will happen? You will think like the 1%, while others search for motivation videos. What do the 1% study? They study skills that generate money. Copywriting, marketing, and video editing. They learn psychology to understand people. They study health to live longer. Not just to look better, they study wealth creation and preservation. They study communication to be heard. They study English as a global weapon. They study their own minds through journaling and reflection. They do not study for a test. They study for their own evolution. Let's say you scroll for 2 hours daily. Now, make a change. Spend 30 minutes reading a book. Spend 30 minutes learning English. Spend 30 minutes on a success podcast. Spend 30 minutes writing down ideas. Do this every single day. In 30 days, your mind is a sharp sword. In 90 days, people will notice. They will ask what happened to you. In 1 year, you are a different person. What you can do right now, create your own learning list. 5 books or topics you want to master. Design a learning hour every day. Schedule it for the same time. Track what you are studying. Write down what you have learned. Protect your brain from junk. If it does not teach you something, do not give it your attention. The masses fill their minds with noise. The 1% fill theirs with direction. In a world that is so noisy, the person who studies quietly will control those who scroll in chaos. Stage 6. Take calculated risks while others fear failure. Now we will discuss a powerful truth. This stage is not about books or time. It is not about discipline. This is about your own courage. It is a courage the masses avoid. And the 1% build empires with. Let us be honest about something. Most people are afraid of public failure. They fear starting something and looking foolish. They fear investing money and losing it. They fear taking action with no guarantee. They fear being laughed at for trying. So what is their solution? They choose what feels safe. They choose what is familiar to them. They remain in their comfort zones for years. By the time they realize their mistake, 30 years have been spent building another person's dream, not their own. That is the real failure. The 1% take calculated risks. Notice the important word here. Not wild risks or dumb risks. These are calculated risks. The risks are scary but necessary. The risks say, I might fall down, but if I succeed, I will never have to settle again. Let me give you a real-life example. In 1994, Jeff Bezos had a great job. He was a vice president at a firm. He had a safe job and a good salary. But he had an interesting idea. He wanted to create an online bookstore. Back then, nobody trusted online shopping. There was no Amazon or Prime. It seemed like a crazy concept. Quitting his safe job was even crazier. But he did one thing that changed his life. He asked himself a single question. When I am 80 years old, will I regret not attempting this? The answer was a clear yes. So he accepted the risk. He started Amazon in his garage. He became the richest man on earth. That is the mindset of the 1%. They do not run away from fear. They walk directly through it. Why do the masses miss big chances? Because they wait for the perfect time. They wait for everyone's support. They wait for more self-confidence. They wait until they know everything. But here's the simple truth. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action. It comes after you take small risks. Here are risks you can take now. Speak English in a public setting. Even if your grammar is not perfect, start a small side business. Even if it only makes $1, post your ideas online. Even if you are afraid of what people think, message someone who you admire. Learn a new skill, even if it is hard, because every risk you do not take is a reward you will never get. The 99% fear falling, the 1% fear not moving. They do not ask, what if I fail? They ask, what if I never even try? Because one small risk can open a huge door, and behind that door is a new life. The masses will never see it. Stage 7. Guard your attention while others give it away for free. Let me share a scary truth with you. It is not your money that they want. It is not your personal data. It is not even your time. They want your attention. Because if they can control your attention, they can control your mind and your habits. They can control your entire future. You may not be aware of this, but you are in a war right now. It is a war for your ability to focus. Billions of dollars are being spent on a single mission to steal your attention and keep it. Every single app and notification, every image and every scroll, every sound is designed for one purpose: to trap your mind in a loop. They study how you behave. They track all your emotions. They know when you feel sad or tired, and that is the moment they attack. Most people grab their phone in the morning. They do it before their feet touch the floor. They check social media and their emails. They look at news, stories, and comments. The moment their eyes are open, their mind is already gone. Their attention is no longer theirs. It belongs to computer algorithms. It belongs to companies and advertisers. It belongs to other people's lives. They do not even notice it. The moment they start to scroll, their focus begins to disappear. What is the result of giving away attention? You lose control over your emotions. You forget about your personal goals. You compare your life to fake lives. You lose many hours without knowing it. You cannot be present with your family or with your dreams and your own thoughts. And the worst part is this: you cannot focus long enough to change. Your brain gets addicted to quick things. Quick jokes, quick videos, quick rewards. Now you cannot read a whole book. You cannot watch a long video. You cannot practice English for 30 minutes. You cannot sit quietly with yourself. Your attention span has been destroyed, and so has your ability to grow. The 1% know this simple rule: what you focus on grows stronger. What you ignore fades away. So they ensure their focus is on skills, on their goals and their daily plans, on their learning, purpose, and peace. They block out everything else. They use apps that remove distractions. They check social media at specific times. Their day begins with quiet, not chaos. They read books, not just short posts. They invest their attention, not spend it. A distracted mind cannot build a focused life. Do you know why Steve Jobs wore the same shirt? He did not want to waste attention on small, unimportant decisions. He wanted to save his focus for big ideas, like designing the very first iPhone. His life was simplified to keep his mind clear, focused, sharp, and untouchable. That is what the 1% always do. They do not let the world control their minds. They build a mental fortress and only let important things inside. What you can do now to protect your attention: delete 3 apps you do not really need. Set 2 hours of no screen time each day. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Track your screen time honestly. Start your day without your phone for at least 30 minutes. Invest your attention in your own growth, like learning English or a new skill. Because when you control your attention, you can control your entire world. The masses sell their attention for cheap, then wonder why life is so chaotic. The 1% protect their attention, like it is made of diamonds, and that is the reason they shine. Stage 8. Say no to mediocrity while others settle for less. Now we reach a very deep and emotional truth. This is not about time, money, or discipline. This is about your personal standards. The 99% have lowered theirs so much that they have forgotten themselves. Let me ask you this question. How many people do you know in unhappy jobs, but they decide to stay anyway? How many are in toxic relationships, but they choose to stay anyway? How many say they will improve next year, but they never actually do it? The answer is most people. Because most people are not lazy. They are not weak either. They are simply numb. And numbness is what creates mediocrity. They say things like, "It is not that bad. At least I have something. I should just be grateful. Who am I to ask for more?" And that is the quiet death of dreams. It does not end with a loud bang. It ends with a slow, silent surrender. The 1% refuse to settle. They do not say, "That is good enough." They do not accept being average. Mediocrity is not allowed in their lives, not in their work, thoughts, or friends. They say, "If I am still alive, I am still growing. If I can improve my life, I will. I do not care what the world thinks is normal. I only care about who I am becoming." Their standards seem crazy to others, but those crazy standards produce great results. For example, Michael Jordan. He was not just a basketball player. He was an obsession. He pushed his teammates very hard. Some of them actually hated him for it. He trained longer and pushed harder. He refused to accept anything less. Why did he do this? Because he had a single rule. If you want to win championships, you never accept being average. And that mindset created a legend. Not because his genetics were better, but because his tolerance for mediocrity was 0. What does saying no to mediocrity look like? It means not accepting your bad habits just because other people have them, not speaking broken English forever when you have the chance to improve, not spending time with lazy friends just because they seem fun, not staying at a job you despise when you can build a new path, not watching garbage content for hours. And calling it relaxation, it means you look in the mirror and say this: I am better than my current situation, and I will prove that to myself. What you can do right now, write down 3 areas of your life where you have been accepting less. List all the excuses you have used. Set one NU standard for yourself today. For example, no more skipping English practice, no more scrolling on your phone past midnight, no more time with people who drain you. You do not have to be perfect today, but you must stop accepting just enough. The masses are not defeated by failure. They are destroyed by their comfort. Every time you say, "It is okay," you abandon the life that could have been. So say NO to mediocrity. Say NO to being average. Say no to the voice that says you are fine. You are not here for a life that is just fine. You are here for a life that is on fire. Stage 9. Act daily without excuses while others wait for the right time. Let me ask you one honest question. How many things have you wanted to do, but you are still waiting for the right moment? Maybe it is starting a YouTube channel or learning to speak English well. Maybe it is losing weight or starting a business, writing a book or fixing your health, quitting a bad habit or leaving a bad person. And you always say, soon, next week, after I feel a little more ready, once things are not so busy. I will start fresh next month. But here is the simple truth. The perfect time does not exist. There is only right now. And the lie you tell yourself to avoid it. The 99% are prisoners of tomorrow. Most people do not actually live. They just make plans to live later. They treat their goals like a savings account. Someday I will finally take action. But someday always becomes never. They do not fail because they are weak. They fail because they wait. And while they are waiting, time passes. Their energy slowly fades. Their dreams begin to die. The 1% have a single rule: do it anyway. The 1% do not wait to feel ready. They do not wait for a special sign. They do not wait for permission from anyone. They take action even when they feel scared, or confused, or tired. Even when they are not in the mood, because they understand something important. If you only act when everything is perfect, you will never take action. Let's say your goal is to build a wall. A huge, strong, and unbreakable wall. Most people would say, that is too much. It will take forever to finish. I do not have enough time right now. So they wait, and the wall is never built. But the 1% do something different. They lay one single brick each day. Just one, even when tired or lazy. Even when nobody is watching them. And 1 year later, they have a wall that was built in silence. That is how your English will improve. That is how your body will change. That is how businesses are created. That is how strong habits are formed. One action every day, and no excuses are allowed. Because excuses are a shield for our comfort. Excuses allow us to believe something. It is not my fault. It is not the right time for this. I am not ready yet. But here is the real truth. Excuses are simply lies. And every time you use one, you lose a small piece of your future. What you can do right now. Write down one thing you have delayed. Write down every excuse you have used. Now cross them all out. Do one very small action today. 10 push-ups. 10 English sentences. 10 minutes of reading. 10 ideas for your dream. Do not make it a big task. Just make sure it gets done. Because the only thing worse than failing is never even starting. The 99% wait for the right mood, the right moment, the right month. The 1% move quietly. They act before they feel ready. Because you do not need a better plan. You need a stronger promise. A promise you make to yourself. And that is how you rise above the crowd. Stage 10. Become who you were born to be while others die as a version they settled for. This is not just another stage. This is a serious reality check. This is the mirror you have avoided looking at. This is the question that will change you. Will you die as your authentic self, or just a version the world made for you? Let me say something that is hard but true. Most people die without becoming who they could be. They work jobs they despise, they stay in draining relationships, they silence their own creativity. They bury their unique gifts. They live by rules they did not choose. They obey systems they never questioned. They live a quiet life of just surviving. And they die with their dreams still inside. And the worst part of all, they will think this is normal. Because everyone they know did the same thing. The 1% look in the mirror and ask, is this the real me, or just who I became out of fear? They do not want to die with unused potential. They want to empty their souls into life. They want to use all of their abilities. They want to speak their personal truth. They want to live loudly, fully, and bravely. And that requires one thing. It requires transformation. Destroying the fake afraid programmed you, and becoming the version that whispers inside. Let me provide an example. Before he was Muhammad Ali, he was Cassius Clay, a boy from Kentucky. Nobody believed he would be great. He was mocked and hated. But inside he knew something. I am not who they tell me I am. I am who I choose to become. So he changed his name and his mindset. He changed the course of history. He did not accept the identity he was given. He became the person he was meant to be. You were not born to just pay your bills or to scroll all day and follow rules. You were not born to die quietly. You were born to create and to speak, to change something and to leave a mark. You were born to burn with a purpose. And if you do not do it, if you stay stuck and keep waiting, you are not just wasting your time, you are betraying your true self. Ask yourself this question honestly. Who am I in the process of becoming? Write down the version of you that you fear. The average, settled version. Now, write down the version of you that would make your soul feel proud. You must choose between them. Then you must ACT. Because this is your only life. There are no second chances. The 99% do not truly live. They only exist. They repeat, scroll, complain, and vanish. But the 1% rise. They awaken and they fight for their future. They refuse to settle for less. And they become legends. So now ask yourself this. Will you join the 1%? Or will you finish this video and go back to sleep? The choice is completely yours. Let us conclude this video with truth. Not with motivation or hype, but with honest, real truth. The kind that stays with you forever. Listen closely now. This world does not need another average person. It needs you. The real you, the focused you, the powerful you. The version of you buried under fear, under excuses, distractions, and noise. If this video found you today, it was not a coincidence. You were supposed to hear this message because you know deep down you are not here to live an average life. You are here to rise and to lead, to grow, build, and change, to inspire and to speak, to master your English in your life. So from this moment forward, no more waiting for the right time, no more distractions, no more saying one day. Let today be day one of your new life. Because you do not have to be perfect. You do not need to know everything. You just need to take the first step, and then the next one, and the next. Your future is not a mystery. It is a choice you make. And if you make that choice today, you will look back in 1 year or 5 years and say, that video was when my life changed. If this video made you think, if it opened up your eyes, if it made you feel something real, then do not keep it a secret. Comment below with this: I choose to live like the 1%. Share this with one person who needs it. Subscribe to this channel, because this is not just content. This is your community and your family, your safe place to continue growing. And always remember this: you are not behind schedule. You are not late or broken. You are just one powerful decision away from becoming your true self. Let us begin. Welcome to your 1% life. Welcome to your future. Welcome home.